What's going on YouTube? Matty with FusaroFitness Q&A. Got the questions on the iPad. Gonna jump right into this. I do tend to ramble and my battery's gonna die, so let me switch to battery before I start the video. Fuck! Alright, new battery's in, so let's get started on the questions. Kenny Gonzales, my boy Kenny asks, why is your finger in my face if you looked at the picture that I posted on Facebook? And when is the wedding? Kenny, I apologize. I didn't mean to put my finger in your face directly. That was just me pointing at the masses and trying to get some questions. And as for when is the wedding, we're looking at November of 2015. How can I get a sweet accent like yours? I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I live on Long Island, New York. Come live in New York for a few years. You'll probably have this accent. Can one do cardio before bed? If you're talking about horizontal cardio, I highly recommend it. But in reality, yes, you can do cardio whenever you'd like. When are you competing, bro? He's referring to natural bodybuilding competition. I've mentioned that I do want to compete. It might be less than a year, it might be a few years, but you guys will be the first to know about it. Hey Matt, for my meals like chicken, turkey breast, or lean meat, how many ounces should I have? What would be a solid number of egg whites to have at breakfast? I'm trying to build muscle and cut fat, so I'm not technically bulking. By the way, congrats again for you and Brittany. Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate that. As far as ounces per meal or at each serving, it really doesn't matter. Now, I wouldn't go crazy and say have 15 ounces of turkey or chicken with dinner, but what's more important is the overall macronutrients. So you can spread out the meals however you want. You can eat 2 meals a day or you can eat 6 meals a day, as long as you're hitting your macros according to your goals. And as far as building muscle and cutting fat, doesn't happen very often. I've talked about this in other videos. I recommend picking one goal, sticking to it, and then changing up the goal according to how you're happy. Training 6 times a week with low volume each day should bring good results to naturals? Question mark. When dealing with an obese kid willing to lose weight, what is the best approach? The first approach would be to go to a doctor to make sure you have clearance to train if you really are obese. But for someone who's overweight looking to lose weight, really just dial in your nutrition and get moving. Most people are obese due to a shitty diet and a very sedentary life. Just start doing something. You can incorporate weight training again if you get clearance from your doctor, but something like a full body program 3 times a week and adding in some cardio along with a healthy diet, you should have no problem losing weight. Should there be a split for abs or core? If so, how should it be and after when? I guess you're just asking how should you incorporate abs and core training into your routine? Just like anything else, you could do it a few times a week, the frequency is fine, you don't have to hit them every day, and hit them with weight. Hard and heavy like you would any other muscle. They respond to progressive overload just like your chest, your legs, and your glutes. So, focus on a proper range of motion, proper form, which doesn't sound hard with abs, but a lot of people get it wrong, and use heavy weight. How can I maintain muscle mass without having protein shakes and going to the gym? Well, if you're not going to the gym at all, you're probably going to have a hard time maintaining muscle mass, but consuming adequate calories and going to the gym will help you maintain muscle mass and even grow some. As far as the protein shakes go, they're good for convenience and an easy way to increase your protein intake, but they're by no means necessary if you get adequate protein through your whole foods. Should you lower your calories on a ready day if you're bulking? I'm assuming you mean rest day and autocorrect fucked up your post, but my take is if you want to. Some people like to do that because you're not using as much glycogen if your activity level is not as high. Some people like to keep it consistent as it may be easier to track your macros that way. But really, however you feel more comfortable, just make sure you're consistent with whatever you do. Can you train a muscle if it's still sore? And if yes, aren't you interrupting the recovery and thus not allowing the muscle to grow? Not at all. A soreness is not an indicator of an effective workout, nor is it an indicator of hypertrophy or muscle growth. Soreness does happen from time to time. Where that DOMS or delayed onset muscle soreness actually comes from is still kind of up in the air, but it could be connective tissue damage, lactic acid buildup. But what's important is that increasing the frequency and training a sore muscle is actually more effective, and you'll find that if you have a sore muscle, warming up for 5 or 10 minutes, by the time you start your workout, that muscle probably won't feel sore anymore. So yes, you can train a sore muscle. And no, it won't interrupt growth. Are high deficits bad? Appreciate the good video. Shout out from Syria. Shout out back to you. I appreciate that. And as far as high deficits, I think you mean a big caloric deficit. Never a good thing. I always recommend keeping the deficit as small as possible while still losing weight and losing body fat, but keeping as much strength and maintaining as much size as possible. What do you mean by push-pull? Please explain. Thanks, Matt. All I mean by push-pull, if you've heard me talk about a legs push-pull before, is just the direction of the movement. So pushing would be stuff like your bench press, your tricep press downs, your overhead press or shoulder press, anything pushing and pressing away from your body, whereas pull would be pulling towards your body, such as a row, a bicep curl, something like that. So that's really it. I appreciate all of your questions. Thank you guys very much for asking them. It gives me a reason to do videos and reach out to as many people as possible. I do have a couple of more. Some of them require more in-depth videos, so that's why I didn't answer them on here. And I'll be sure to get those out as soon as possible. Make sure you're staying up to date on the FusaroFitness Facebook page, so if you have a question, you can answer it for a chance to hear it answered on video. Make sure you're staying up to date with the FusaroFitness Facebook page so that if you have a question and you'd like to ask it, it might be answered on a video. So that's it. Your support is awesome. I appreciate it as always. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.